Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Gerber890, back again with another video. So this video is going to be a little different. It's going to be like my Resident Evil video, where I talk about just a specific collection from a certain series of games. And this collection is none other than the fan favorite, Ratchet and Clank. So, I have a little bit of a confession to make. Before this year, I had only played one Ratchet and Clank game. I did not grow up with PlayStation, and I actually didn't have any friends that had Ratchet and Clank games. So I had heard of them, but had just never experienced them in any way. But I picked up the remake slash reimagining of sorts for the PS4 back in 2016. And I played that and had a great time with it and enjoyed it thoroughly. And so I was actually looking forward to a Rift Apart that was coming out on the PS5 this summer. And since the next gen is kind of lacking in dedicated games, it was one that I didn't want to just let fall by the wayside. So I decided, I own just about every single Ratchet and Clank game, so I really have no excuse for not playing them. And so I decided, well, now is as good a time as any to get going. So yeah, anyways, I started off with the original that laid the foundation and just started it all. And overall, a very solid game and extremely impressive for being what it is and for being on the PS2, especially graphically. There was a few grindy parts and struggles, but that kind of comes when you play games from back in the day. But anyways, this was a good one. But I do have to say, with the follow-up, Going Commando, they did a great job because it built off the foundation, but they really fixed a lot of the minor issues from the first one. And so I really liked Going Commando quite a bit, and just like the layout they had with all the worlds and the new weapons that they added. And then we got many people's favorite, and I can definitely see why now. And that is Up Your Arsenal, the third entry into the Ratchet and Clank series. Yeah, this one is kind of just in the same shoes as Going Commando, where they just continued to build off of that foundation and just make it even better and more streamlined. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I like the end boss fight with Nefarious for sure. Okay, and then we have Ratchet Deadlocked. So in most Ratchet and Clank games, if not all, there's kind of an arena section where you'll go and do different challenges and have to take out enemies in all sorts of different ways. And so that was like the focus of this one. You're competing in this tournament, and so you'll have like these levels that are kind of longer arena challenges, and you have to take out a bunch of enemies and do all sorts of crazy shenanigans. But yeah. So anyways, this was a fun one, especially if you like the arena challenges. And then they made their debut on the PSP. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if it was Size Matters that came out first or Secret Agent Clank, but either way, both solid entries. And this one it's kind of like the PS2, original. Like, it kind of blows my mind, like just how well done this is for a handheld system. Like, it feels like a solid Ratchet and Clank game. It is done by a different studio, but either way, still has that foundation to build off of. And then with the Secret Agent Clank, most of the games also have like little mini missions for Clank to go on, where you'll have to, get power somewhere, or go through some tunnels or whatever. And so if you like that aspect of the game, like, that's what this was building off of. And they also have their own twists in there as well. Okay, and then they were very smart, and what they did is they did kind of a HD remaster of the original trilogy for the PS3. And it's solid. and it's cool because you got all three games right there, and they look a lot better in HD. And then the first PS3 dedicated Ratchet and Clank, Future Tools of Destruction. Um, this is a good game. I did enjoy it for sure. I kind of have to say though that there was kind of a vibe that graphics came first and then gameplay, and so it didn't feel like quite as balanced or refined, especially as like going commando or up your arsenal. Because everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this is." It even says here on the back, "You are playing a Pixar movie experience," and it's like, yeah, it. I mean, it's a decent looking game, but obviously they were having to develop for new hardware, and that can never be easy. All right, now this is one of my personal favorites of the Ratchet and Clank series. That is Future: A Crack in Time. This one, it started to feel like, okay, we figured out the dynamics of the PS3 and how to develop for it, and so this was just a phenomenal game. It was really fun. It had some really cool puzzles and ideas, and then an interesting story for sure. So this is definitely in the top of my like a top contender for one of my favorite Ratchet and Clank games. All right, and now we have Ratchet and Clank All for One. So this was designed to be a multiplayer experience with Ratchet and Clank. So you could get 4 people going and you play these levels and you work together, and it's more of a side scroller. Um and so like it's fun. And I like the idea that they wanted to be able to bring in more people so it wasn't just a single player experience. All right, and then we got Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault. So this is a tower defense game. So you have all these different levels, and then you got to build up your defenses. Build turrets and whatever else, and fend off waves of enemies and kind of destroy their base or do whatever the objective is first. So a different take. Not a mainline game like All for One, but still fun for sure. Okay, then we got Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. Actually, before this though was Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty, which in the U.S. only was released digitally, and so I picked that up as well, and I played through that, and that's just like a short 3 maybe 4 hour experience, but it's pretty solid because it definitely like fills in just like a little bit of the story, and then had its own unique features in it as well. But then we had Into the Nexus, and I remember when I first popped this in just to kind of see what it was all about. I really liked the beginning, and I wanted to keep playing, but I was like, no, 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 gotta go back, gotta do it right. But when I finally did get to it, I thoroughly enjoyed Into the Nexus. All right, and then here's the remake slash reimagining, kind of meant to tie in with the movie that they released, but it was still cool to be able to see all these places from the first game just completely remade, and the graphics are just stunning. Solid game for sure. All right, and last but not least, we got the newest release, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And yeah, this game is pretty mind-blowing and phenomenal in like every way. This was one that like when the intro cutscene was finished and like you were now officially playing, that it was like, okay, this feels like I'm legit playing a Pixar movie, like especially a modern one, because just like the detail and the lighting and all the effects are just incredible. And I really liked this one. I liked the story and all the different planets you got to go to, all the weapons and just the different things that they added into it. So yeah, I was really glad to be able to play this one. And yeah, so this is going to be a short but sweet video. I just played through all the Ratchet and Clank games, and so I kind of wanted to just talk about them while it's all fresh in my memory still. So yeah, what's your favorite Ratchet and Clank game, and what's some cool pickup stories or exciting memories you have from those phenomenal games? But yeah, that's gonna do it. So thanks for sticking around, and as always, have a good one.